I'm super excited for today's video. We're going to be talking about the 10 lessons I learned this year in 2025. And I know it's going to help you guys become a millionaire. And I've been reflecting a lot and I've been figuring out the top 10 things that's going to blow you guys away and help you guys make money, make more relationships next year, and get everything you guys want. And if you guys don't know who I am, my name is William. I'm a ex-engineer in tech turned into a full-time investor. I develop and invest in real estate and own different businesses. I own 6 to 7 figure businesses. And this channel is all about talking about my love of investing and investing tips about real estate, stocks, and business. All right, let's get started with the top 10 lessons I learned in 2025. All right, let's do this, guys. This is the number one thing I learned is speed is everything, because everything you do compounds and it's all about being quick. So this means like quick to respond to emails, quick to respond to people when they text you back. The richest people know that speed is everything, because if you want to be successful, you want to be the person that gets things done the fastest. And because if you can get things done faster than anybody else, you're going to build a good reputation in the space that you're in. So here's an example. One of my businesses is developing real estate. And developing real estate, the life cycle is a very long time. Usually one big project that can net us $200,000 to $500,000 takes 2 years to complete. That's a very long time. And there's so many different components of it. So if we miss certain things like during the permit process or, during the construction, one day costs us easily $1,000 a day, because we're always carrying hold costs. We're dealing with big projects with tight budgets. And if we miss one day, or, if we don't respond to people and then they get late to us and there's delays, it's costing us $1,000 a day. So that's why I think speed is everything, especially in the business of real estate. And the faster you become, it makes you be able to get things faster, get more material results that compound on top of each other. And if you get things faster, you're also saving on costs, fees, and maintenance and everything like that, just like my real estate development and investing business. Number 2 is one of the hardest realizations for me, and I know you guys are gonna feel the same way. And number 2 is healing your past traumas. Everybody has a different background and has different disadvantages and advantages in life, and that's okay. And over time, we're gonna build certain traumas and experiences that actually take up a lot of our mental space. And this actually kind of stacks on top of the first one, is getting faster, because all these past memories, sometimes it's a limiting factor for us. It's limiting beliefs. And if we don't know how to heal these traumas and get rid of these past stories that are impacting us in a negative way, then it's just gonna slow us down. It's like a hot air balloon. And if you have things that are like sandbags and you're trying to go higher and higher, these sandbags are gonna slow you down. Just like your past traumas and experiences, you kind of have to let it go and drop these sandbags so that you can rise higher and higher and higher. Now, the third thing I learned in 2025 is we got to do things that compound. Everything you do should compound. This goes from your ideas, your thoughts, as well as the actions and habits you take. This is really important, because if you do things that compound and it's beneficial for you, then once things compound like a snowball, if a snowball keeps rolling and rolling enough, the snowball gets bigger and bigger, and it has insane momentum that you can kind of let it go and let it run its course. I think of wealth and your investments just like this. Same as business. If you get enough momentum in your investments in your business, you can kind of let it go, and it's like a flywheel that kind of compounds on itself, and you can just watch it grow, which is an amazing thing to see. And then it allows you to buy back your time and do everything you want in life, and just have your business and investments just keep creating you income so that you can keep enjoying the things you want to do in life. So that's what I learned. And I learned this because when I was thinking about certain things I wanted to do in 2025 as well as 2026, I realized if I start this new thing instead of like working in my real estate investment company and doing development, then if I start a brand new thing, I don't have a lot of things compounding from it, because I spent 3 years learning how to invest in real estate, and I spent more years trying to make money and learn how to invest. If I start a new thing, I'm going to be wasting all that compounding effect. I should stick with investing in real estate and keep expanding in that, because it's already such a big compounding effect that this is a big snowball. Instead of starting and rolling a new snowball, I need to compound on this bigger snowball I've been working on, and then keep compounding on it until it's able to run by itself, and it's going to roll and roll, that I don't need to put more attention, energy, and effort into it. So that's where I learned that I need to work on things that compound and keep pushing on the things that I've been compounding, so that then I can just like create this system that's just going to run by itself. And that's an amazing feeling. And then number Number 4, this is super important, is again, focus on things that compound. And the thing I learned is relationships in life are so important. You want to focus on good, high quality relationships. And I learned that a lot in 2025 because the relationships I built in 2025 really helped me because it allowed me to do bigger investments and do bigger projects because there's a lot of relationships I built that allowed me to do bigger deals because people want to partner up with me and people want to do certain business with me, as well as it saves me a lot of time, energy, and effort because the relationships I built were helping me in all aspects of my businesses. And also, the thing I love about relationships and building businesses is you get to make a lot of really good friends. And I really think friendship in business is good if you are established and building a foundation just on the business first. And then you guys can, become friends through different hobbies you guys share and just like building a relationship. And I think that's so important. That's why one of the things I recommend for you guys is try to build 10 quality relationships and try to make these relationships related to business or investments if that's something you want to do. Because I think if you're going to do something for a long time, you want to be hanging out with people and building relationships that will help you on your journey. Because if you guys are all aligned doing a certain thing and you have people surrounding yourself, it's going to be a lot easier to have an environment that's going to be beneficial and help you grow in that aspect. I think the 3 pillars in life for people is wealth, relationships, and health. So we've been talking about a lot of wealth building tips, but the other thing is, again, relationships is huge. Now I'm going to move on to the 5th thing, which is your health. And the thing that I've learned in 2025 is I think I got really slow and lazy, which I mean like procrastinating a lot and just not doing the things that I was supposed to. And me not moving fast enough really caused things to kind of compound in a bad way because I was just wasting a lot of time just consuming social media, consuming the wrong foods, as well as just not like creating as much. So that's why the number 5 is focusing on your health and limiting your consumption. And the consumption means a lot of things, but most importantly, limiting the wrong foods, limiting your time on social media, watching too much content, and same as like Netflix and YouTube videos and stuff like that. Because if you're spending too much time consuming, it's taking away from you creating. And I personally think if you really want to be wealthy and have a high quality life, you have to focus more on creating instead of consuming too much. So you want to make sure you consume less and create more. Now we're on to number 6. If I can say one thing, and it was to my younger self, is to take more risk. The reason why is sometimes we're living in scarcity mode instead of abundance mode, and we don't want to take risks because we're just so scared. And being scared actually affects our brain, where it limits our thinking as well as limiting our decision making, as well as ability to just live our everyday life to the highest quality. So one of the things I want you guys to do is think bigger. Everything's going to be scary because, like if you're going to do something for the first time, of course it's going to be scary, but you got to keep doing it because that's how you're going to get the things you want. Because if you don't have the things you want, you got to do things you never done. And that's scary, right? And that's why being comfortable with being scared, if you take more risks, again, you're going to start doing things that you never done, and it's going to get you more material results. And also, if you take more risks, I'm not going to lie, you're going to fail a lot more. But again, failure is a part of the journey to success. Don't think of it as something that impedes. Failure is necessary to be successful. And I heard this from the CEO of Honda: success is 99% failure. And I can't agree more with this, because the more risks you take, the more you're going to fail, but also it's going to lead to you learning the right things and applying this knowledge and getting better, which is going to lead to more success. Now, number 7 is something I learned, and it's to be more patient and wait for the payoff. What does this mean? Well, in 2025, I really wanted to go faster and buy more real estate, but I really had to be more patient because right now the real estate market is not as hot as it used to be, and there's a huge slowdown happening right now. So I had to be really patient because you don't ever want to invest in a bad deal, or you don't want to get yourself in a situation. It's going to put you at a disadvantage because you just got impatient. And I really had to learn that. And I want you guys to also understand being patient is also a great skill to have. And that's why you never want to get into a bad deal, or don't rush decisions that are big decisions that compound to something bigger for yourself in life. And the reason why I'll also talk about payoff is like I have a bunch of real estate projects going on in development. It takes a long time. It's hard to see the payoff. Same thing as entrepreneurship. Sometimes you got to be working like a couple years, like 3 to 5 years, and not see the payoff. And that's why it's also a part of patience. You got to wait and be comfortable waiting because the payoff's going to come. It's just going to take a little bit longer than you expected. So you got to be able to be comfortable being patient and maybe, like start doing some other stuff that is going to allow you to be more patient. And then when you're being able to be patient, it's going to allow you to protect your time and energy from the things that you might not do because you're just getting impatient. Now, this is one of the biggest things I learned in 2025, and it has to do with learning and making more money. So number 9 is you got to learn before you earn. This is so important because I feel like I've built a lot of skills around real estate, investing, and business that I'm comfortable making X amount of money. Sometimes it makes you feel like you don't have to learn anymore, which is the wrong mindset and mentality to have. You want to always be learning to earn more money. And sometimes when you're earning X amount of money, it feels great, but sometimes you will hit a plateau. And that also might force you to be in a situation where you're just not happy because you don't feel like you're growing because you've been stuck at making X amount of money, or, like your money is not growing and it's going the opposite way and you're spending more, or you're just making no money because, I don't know, the market's tough, or your business not growing, or your investors not growing. So that's why there might be a time where if you're not plateauing, or if you're plateauing or making zero money, or you need to make more money, you got to start changing that mindset and not focus on making more money, but focus more on learning. And once you learn enough, that's going to unlock the new level where it's going to allow you to grow in the income and make more money. And that's something that's been very hard for me because, again, as I'm always about going faster and speed, it's tough to see your money plateau or go down and just like, be okay with it and focus on learning. But sometimes that's required to just go through a phase of learning and not thinking about the money, things like that, because then it's going to just be, maybe it'd be a down or a flat line. And then once you learn enough, then that's going to increase your growth and then your income's going to go like this. And this is the last one. And this is so important. And I feel like I just keep coming back to this over and over. But in 2025, I feel like I hit a lot of my goals. I bought a lot of real estate. I started doing a lot of my development projects, and I'm a permit for a lot more projects in 2026. But something I realized is I'm just not playing big enough. And that's why number 10 is you got to dream bigger. You got to think bigger. And the reason why is because you have a certain ceiling. Everybody does. But if you can keep expanding that ceiling and keep thinking bigger earlier, it's going to allow you to have more space to grow because you can only grow to your ceiling. So for me, like, let's just say like my goal was $10 million and I was able to achieve that. I was like, wow, like, my goal was not big enough, or I felt like, man, I have so much more in the gas tank. I can go faster. I can do things better. And that's why, like, one of the things I want to challenge you guys is to think bigger and raise that ceiling, because then if you can think bigger faster, then it's going to allow you to more money, build more relationships, and have an amazing life. And that's why, like, I've been taking that and everything I've learned and talked about in this video into my goals. And my goals right now for 2026 is I want to do more real estate investing. And that's why one of my goals is to have 10 more development projects that we're going to buy in kind of the West Coast area in Seattle. And then the other big goal that I really like is I want to buy a $10 million apartment or commercial building, because right now I have over $10 million in real estate, but I want to think bigger. And one of the biggest things I can think about right now is if I could do that in the past 3 years, what if I could do it in one move? How cool would that be? Is me buying one property or one building that's worth my entire real estate portfolio. So that's why I'm so excited about 2026, and I want to buy a $10 million apartment building or commercial building and learn that game of real estate and just be thinking bigger and doing bigger things. And the other goals that I have for 2026 that I'm even more excited, because again, investing in wealth is really cool, but having the right people on your team and having a community is way more important to me. And I really care about the relationships I build, and I love to build long-term relationships. I am all about relationships because I'm just a long-term guy. I think in long-term, I think in decades, and I think of a lifetime. So I want to build higher quality relationships. So I'm thinking, how can I meet more people and create more opportunities for myself? And And the one thing that always comes back to is making more content, creating a community. And that's why next year I'm starting my own podcast. It's going to be my first podcast, and I'm going to be doing podcasts, and I'm going to do more YouTubes like this one. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe to this channel and like this video because I want to make more of this. And if you like it and, more people see it, it's going to want to make better videos. And until the next episode, guys, I'm super excited and have a happy new year, and I'll see you in 2026.